7. What do you hope to be? All of you can do many remarkable things that no other kind of living thing can do. Can you think of some? Only man can write a letter or paint a picture. Only man can use his brain and hands in so many inventive ways. The elephant is stronger than man, but man invents a bulldozer that has more strength than an elephant. Man cannot move a mountain, but he builds machines that can. Man cannot fly, but with his brain and hands, he builds airplanes in which he can fly faster than any bird. Man cannot live underwater, but with his brain and hands, he builds a submarine in which he can live underwater and travel farther than any fish. Man cannot swim across the ocean, but with his brain and hands, he builds a ship to take himself across. Look around you. Read the newspapers, watch television, listen to the radio, and try to make a list of man's achievements. The list would include paper, pens and pencils, bicycles, automobiles, trains, airplanes and rockets, schools, hospitals and churches, telephone, radio, television and radar, eyeglasses, microscopes and telescopes, languages, mathematics, music, and art. All of these are products of the most remarkable of all organs, the human brain. Man can learn, and because he uses his brain and hands, imagination and skill, he can do what no other kind of living thing can do. He can think and plan and change the world to satisfy his needs and desires. However, man was not always able to do as many things as he can now. Man has always been inventive, but he has learned about his world slowly, step by step. Take, for example, man's ability to do work. Long ago, man could do only as much work as his muscles allowed. They were his source of push and pull. The energy from his food in his body was the only energy he could use. Later, he learned to use animals to work for him. Still later, he learned to use simple machines like the lever and the wheel. With these simple machines, he could make work easier, but muscles were still his only source of energy. To add to his own power, man needed new sources of energy. He first learned to use the energy of wind and water, and then of fuels like coal and oil. In modern times, man has learned to use different fuels to run machines to do things which were not even dreamed of long ago. Now, the energy of electricity can even be used to help man do the work of thinking by running thinking machines or computers. Man has learned to do so much that today he can even destroy his world or travel to outer space and build new worlds. The choices open to man are great, but the choices open to individuals are still greater. Society today needs many different kinds of people doing many different kinds of things. The need for people with imagination and skill is greater than ever before. There is not only a need for scientists and engineers, there is also a great need for artists, for musicians, for writers, and for teachers. There is a need, too, for carpenters, lawyers, doctors, and laborers to do all the work that men and women must do. There is a special need for people skilled in languages, particularly in English. Especially in the last 10 to 20 years, modern inventions have made the world seem smaller and smaller. Businessmen, scholars, athletes, tourists, and others from all over the world are meeting together and talking with each other more than ever before. Though other languages are still important, whatever people from different places meet nowadays, the language they use most often is English. The world is full of things to do that it needs the cooperation of men and women of all abilities and skills. There is a need for everyone. What do you hope to be or do? How will you use your brain and hands? As you go on in school, look around you. Find out what you like to do and what you can do best. No matter what your interest may be, you will find your place in the world.